After finding out that I got scammed, I decided to stop driving the M5. All the maintenance, all the paperwork, the shop invoices, all a lie. I felt frozen. All the excitement I had for the V10 M5 quickly disappeared. And at this point, I didn't really know the maintenance history of the car, or how much it would cost to get it healthy enough to drive it without having to worry about something blowing up. While it might be a mistake to touch the M5 right now and take it apart while in the midst of a legal action, nothing's gonna slow me down. And the M5 is going to get all the work it deserves. Alright, so here's everything we have for the E60 M5 today. We got some brake rotors from SHW, got some Hawk brake pads. Of course, you know, we have to tackle the rod bearings. If you guys watched the last episode, you guys know why we're gonna actually address that in this video. And we got rod bolts, both from a company called BE. Got some new OEM control arms for the front, NGK spark plugs, and some Bremmy coils. And lastly, what I'm probably most excited about, we're gonna be replacing the factory blown clapped shocks that we have for Bilstein B6 performance ones, paired up with H&R Sport lowering springs. As always, I'm gonna have links to all these products down in the video's description. We do sell most of this on our website, vehiclevirals.com, so I'd appreciate it if you guys help support us directly if you guys need any BMW parts for your car. Only thing we don't sell on here are the B rod bearings and the bolts, which I'm gonna have a link to ECS tuning down in the video's description for those parts. I'm gonna be super honest with you guys. I don't wanna do this maintenance. I've been dreading it. I was sitting around for an hour trying to convince myself why I should not do it today. But as I've always preached on my channel for 5 years now, maintenance first. I'll try to make it as educational as possible and try to make it somewhat fun for you guys to enjoy and hopefully learn a little bit. So we're gonna start off with the rear of the E60 M5. We'll leave the front for later on since we're gonna take down the subframe, oil pan to do the rod bearings. We're gonna focus on the suspension for the rear, so the shocks, the springs, and the brake rotors and the brake pads. So to remove the shocks in the rear, you have the nuts that secure it up top behind all of this stuff, so we'll remove all of it, and then we'll get to the bottom of the car and we'll loosen everything else up. Looks like you got a pull-out clip up top here that needs to be removed. You might want to use a pry tool. I don't have one on hand, so I'm just gonna use a flathead for now. Yep, there goes the clip. This foam piece needs to be removed. Once you get it out of the way, you can see the EDC wire, which is right here. I think it's just a small tug. Yep, that's off. And then you got 3 13 nuts that we have to release for the top hat area. There is a 16 in the middle, but we don't have to worry about that until later on in the process. So we'll go ahead and take off the 13s right now. Seriously? Somebody over tighten these. Since we're gonna do the brakes at the same time, I'm gonna go ahead and take off the caliper as well, loosen that part off, and it'll just kind of make everything easier as we go through it. So bottom side of the strut, you got a 18 there, so we're gonna try to take it off. These are normally really hard, especially if you have a car that's from up north. Then yeah, you might struggle and have to spray some PB blaster or something and let it kind of dwell for a little bit.
Got all the caca on your hand in HD.
In 4K, bro. Yeah, I get to see this 4K dirt on my hand. Caliper was wedged, so use a handy dandy pry tool. And there you go. So now we're just gonna zip tie this to this section so it's not hanging by the brake line. You don't want to damage that. Hey, you want to whack it like a man real quick? Ladies and gentlemen, that's how you do it. Finally. I didn't need the hammer for this one. Once you got that bolt removed, just gotta tug on it. Be very careful. You can cut yourself. I kind of did already. You pull it off. So now the strut assembly, you guys can see, is very loose, but I left those nuts kind of loose up top. So now I just have to go there with my hand, remove them, and then we should be able to remove this much easily. Should be able to wiggle it out. All right, so it's loose now that we took the nuts off the top. The pain here is that you might have to loosen the control arm just to get it out. So we can create space to pull this strut off to the side and hopefully have enough room to wiggle it out. Well guys, rear control arm, top one, it's like nothing. It doesn't have anything. It's completely shot. One done. 3 more to go. Ooh. Wow.
Now it was time to drop subframe. The anticipation to see what the rod bearings looked like was absolutely killing me. Remember the seller said he replaced them? Obviously that was a lie, but what if they were changed at some point? I mean, this is a high mileage S85. I doubt it still has its original rod bearings. There's really only one way to find out.
As we're taking things apart, we keep finding more and more broken stuff on this car. For example, both end links were completely shot, so I had to go ahead and purchase some replacement ones so we can do while we're already here. And I'm not sure how much you can see, but all these belts are completely toast. I can already see why this car is very expensive to own, especially if you're not gonna work on it yourself. By the way, working on it yourself is a pain in that. Just look at where the alternator is at, and then let's say if, God forbid, you have to change the power steering, which is all back there, then the lines run all the way around the back and come all around here. I could only imagine how much of that would be to have to address.
Once removing the oil pan, we did the usual eye inspection just to see if anything looked odd or out of the ordinary. We felt around the bottom of the oil pan and around the chain, gears, and guides, and nothing. So far, so good. Now it's time to remove our first bearing.
I'm not a rod bearing expert, but that's definitely more than normal wear.
As you can see, they were definitely not replaced by the previous owner and probably not anytime soon. This car could have blown its engine at any point, especially the way I was driving it.
This is only cylinder 5. We got 9 more cylinders to go. This is probably not even the worst one.
The bearing just fell out. It wasn't even attached to a rod cap, like tight. That's definitely copper there.
So here's a quick update on the scam. There's not really a lot of details I can talk to you guys about because anything that I say can be used against me, especially when there's thousands of people watching this video. So I gotta be smart about it. I can say that the shop that the sellers told me worked on the car, but they just forged their documentation and they never worked on the car and were never involved. Those guys over there are very pissed and they're pursuing legal action versus the seller that sold me the M5. And they're not stopping. They're going full force to teach that man a lesson and recover compensation for all the negativity and all the crap that went through. Forging documentation was the single most stupidest thing those guys could have done. And at this point, I don't know, the shop owner doesn't know how many times they've done it with other customers. And they even asked me to join in the lawsuit. Obviously, 2 parties being scammed is stronger than 1 party, right? I know I touched the E60 M5. I know a lot of you guys advised me not to touch it because it's part of the evidence. I'm a content creator. I don't have the time to just stop and wait. If I can get compensated for all the work that I'm doing to the car, fine. If I weaken my case because I'm touching the car after knowing that I got scammed, then that's a chance for me to take. I think the car has a really good story and it has the potential to be great, and I want to be the person that brings it from down here all the way to up here. I'll have a bigger update sometime in the future when I can freely talk to you guys about it. But until then, hope you guys enjoy the E60 M5 getting unclapped and getting all the love it deserves. So here's a rear strut assembly. I already took everything apart off camera. It's pretty simple. You have an 18-inch nut up top. There is a cable that gets in the way for the EDC. I just went ahead and just cut it to make it a lot easier since we're not gonna be using it anyways. Also, if you guys needed any kind of proof that the shocks are blown, here's a stress test. First of all, it shouldn't be that easy to compress. And then once you compress it all the way to the bottom, it doesn't decompress. That's terrible. Far too many times I have seen people reuse the original beat up bump stop. It flakes like a croissant, literally. Do you really want your suspension to be associated with something like this? Nah. They're not that expensive. You can purchase these and your car will love you for that. So we're just taking everything apart and we're gonna build the rear strut the same exact way like OEM by utilizing the bottom section right here. So we'll go ahead and do that first. It goes just like this right here. So then we'll go ahead and put this metal cover that goes over the bump stop. H&R lettering should be facing the correct way.
H&R springs, everybody's pretty much heard of these. They will lower my M5 approximately 1.2 inches in the front and lower the rear by 0.75 inches. I don't normally go the route of lowering springs, but there really isn't a ton of options available for the E60 M5 when it comes to suspension. Plus they pair very nicely with these Bilstein B6 performance struts, which by the way are compatible with EDC, meaning you don't have to delete that feature and you can continue to electronically control the suspension stiffness.
Push that up, top hat, just like that. The top metal cap goes on top right there. And lastly, the nut. Oh! So subframe's back on. Went ahead and assembled the front suspension, the struts with the lowering springs. Everything's good to go. Since everything's kind of taken apart on that side, we'll take advantage and install the control arms. That's perfect placement to have that bolt.
Yeah, the most stupidest place.
That is such a dumb location. There you go. Oh, that's clap. Right here. Let's just put it back in there. Let's service it.
It's adjustable. It's modular.
Just
right?
remove it if you want a more track feel.
There you go. See? OEM. That's why every time you brake with this car, it goes.
It's definitely gonna be running a lot better.
So what's so good about these rotors? Well, let's put it like this. They are pretty much OEM rotors, but without the OEM price tag. SHW is the OEM supplier for many of the BMW M cars. Sometimes you'll even find the OEM logo scratched off. Wink, wink.
Before anybody says anything, I already verified these are the rear left. I know the drilled holes are going this way. This is how they're supposed to be installed. And this is the correct side. Ooh, those look nice. I like it.
As far as the pads, I decided to go full aftermarket. I am just tired of the typical BMW M brake dust. These are ceramic, low brake dust, and they offer better performance. You can't lose.
Ah! You guys have no idea what I went through off camera. It's only one. Got 3 more to go.
3 more to go.
All right, so we're pretty much done with the rear end of the car. Getting the nuts on the top of the struts back here. Make sure everything's nice and tight. Then we'll connect the EDC cable to the factory harness. We gotta work our way up to the front. Oh no. Ooh, nice aim, sir. Oh!
I spoke too soon. It's slant. And we don't have brake lean either.
No, we don't. So oil change is done. So now we just gotta turn on the car for the first time since doing the rod bearings and ensure everything was done correctly.
Couple.
Shut up! No! I'm scared! Yes! All right, so moving on to the engine bay, we are doing the coils and the spark plugs. I was gonna do the valve covers. Probably gonna do those later on once I get another upgrade that I'm looking to do very, very soon. My biggest concern right now is pulling the coils and them getting stuck. It's a common issue for these cars. We did manage to pull one out, and luckily it did not get stuck. So the only person that could get them unstuck is Ali, and he's on a 10-day vacation. So I can't f this up. Oh God. Oh God. I felt something separating. Yep. This is definitely stuck. Oh! Oh! Oh!
The coils look fine. Like I said before, I almost feel like they were changed recently. The spark plugs, on the other hand, had oil on them, which probably means the gaskets from the valve covers have failed, which is something I kinda wanted to do right now and really should have. But due to time constraints, I'll do it in a future video, which will require me to take everything apart anyways to do the other upgrade.
I had a lot of you guys ask me on IG which coils I had, ignition coils, Bremmy coils. I'll link these down in the video's description so it's easier for you guys to find. Probably the only brand you should be sticking to when it comes to the E60 M5 and the S85. All installed too, on camera. Same thing on any car. You can get them in there. It's a little slot on the left-hand side that it locks into. You have the plug, it goes right into it, and as you push it, it locks this into place. That's it. I'll show it again because it's hard to see on that side, but you put them in this way, so you see where they lock in right there. Connector goes like this, and as you push it in, this locks. Final touches, that's it.
All right, let's start her up.
I would drive the car right now to end the video, but I think we'll leave it for the next episode because we got something very epic planned. Let me show you. If you're a fan of the E60 M5, hit the like button, it really does help with the channel, and make sure to subscribe because the E60 M5 is about to sound epic.
Oh my God, that sound never gets old.